Hi, this is Mr. Hewland, and we're going to work on the Aleks concept of graphing a line in standard form. Before we get to standard form, let's review something that's going to be very important, which is slope-intercept form. When an equation is solved for y, like y equals negative 2/3 x minus 4, you instantly see that you have a slope and a y-intercept, and you can graph that thing pretty darn easily. In the case of standard form, and here's an example of standard form right here, that is not in a y equals form. It's in the form of ax plus by equals c, which is called standard form, and that one's not as easy to graph. So our dilemma is, how can we take something that's not easy to graph and turn it into something that is easy to graph? So here's how I'm going to go for it. This is in standard form. Not easy to graph, but if I can turn it into slope-intercept form, it will become easy to graph. So what I notice is slope-intercept form is y by itself, or y equals form. So like you've already learned, we're going to solve for y, or get y by itself, and then we can graph this thing easily. So the first thing I'm going to do to get y by itself is get rid of this x. There's a plus sign, an invisible plus sign on that x. So I subtract x from the left, I subtract x from the right, and I get this new equation, 2y equals 6 minus x. Y is not by itself yet, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide each side by 2. Dividing by 2 enables me to reduce or cancel those 2's. And now I have y by itself. But you might say, hey, that's not in that form. Well, sometimes you have to do a little bit of gymnastics. This 2 divides into the 6. This 2 divides into the x. So to do that, I get that. By the way, to go from the x divided by 2, I really had a negative x divided by 2, which is the same as negative 1/2 x. That could annoy you. Finally, I'm pretty close to y equals mx plus b form, but I'm just going to switch the order. See this minus 1/2 x? I'm going to put that out in front. This is a plus 3. I'm going to put it second. And the reason I did that is so that my brain can see that this is really in y equals mx plus b form. So big picture, standard form, not easy to graph. Through quite a bit of algebra steps, I turned it into y equals mx plus b form, easy to graph. Take my y-intercept, plot it, take my slope, which is either going to be a negative 1 over 2 or a 1 over negative 2. They're both the same. So down 1 over 2, plot a point. Down 1 over 2, plot a point. Negative 1, positive 2. Keep that pattern up. Or I could do up 1, left 2. Up 1, left 2. Up 1, left 2. And through the miracle of algebra, all those dots form the line. We have now graphed a standard form equation by converting it into y equals mx plus b form.